Okay, so let's take a look at how we're going to ink this. We're going to use two different tools and you're going to kind of migrate between them. So pen tool or the pencil tool. All right, they both make anchor points and paths, and we're going to use those to ink our character. So we'll look at the pen tool. I grab my pen tool. I want to look at the top here. Don't be under asset. Make sure you're under appearance. I think it's easier. And you have a fill, which we don't want, so make sure your fill is set to none. And then your stroke, make sure that that is set to black, and you should be good to go. Next, click here. My style right now is none. I don't want none. I want a line. All right. And then in this window, the important thing is you are going to have to do this. Since we don't have a digital pen, under pressure, if you click, there are options here. There are different profiles, okay? So what we want to do is we want to change these and save them, all right? So I'll leave this go for right now, and then we'll come back here in a minute. So here's my pen tool. You click to make an anchor point. You click drag. You click drag, right? So that's going to make these anchors. And then if you want to start a new line, you just hold down Control, tap off, and then keep going. So right now you'll see my line is super, super thin, all right? So that's probably no good. So 0.2 is not good enough for me. That's fine. If I want to edit this after the fact, I can always go ahead, take the black arrow or the white arrow. So you have your move tool or you have they call it the node tool. So I'll just take the black and I'll click on it. And if I want to make this thicker, I can. Now that's a pretty bad looking line, all right? So I'm going to figure out my thickness. And then I'm going to change the style. All right, so let's look at this pressure. So I'll go to pressure and I'm going to start making my own little profile. So these guys, they're nodes. If I drag them down, that's where your brush starts from. All right, I'm going to click in the middle to add an extra node. So you can kind of see I can shape the stroke. So a more natural look might be, thin taper in the beginning, and then maybe it kind of gets thicker at the end. So I like that one. So I have this profile. What I want to do is make a few different profiles and save them. So this one, I'm going to hit Save Profile. There it is. And I'm going to ink with it, see how it goes. And I'll basically make a few different profiles, and then I'll go back and modify my line after the fact. All right, so back to my design. Back to my pen tool. I'm going to zoom in, so Z to zoom in. And my suggestion is to do like a little bit at a time. I'm just going to concentrate here on the hat. I'm not going to do the whole thing because you'll be bored, but I'll do a few strokes. So we'll start here. I'll go back to this pen tool and I will click and drag and click and click. So I'm basically modifying my line. Remember, Alt will break a handle just like Illustrator. So I can come through here and then I'm going to hold down Control and just tap. So you can see I kind of started making this line. And the nice thing is we do not need a digital pen. You can use your mouse or you could even use your touchpad or your finger on the computer screen to do this. All right. So as you go, you can always keep in mind that we can change these strokes later. And you can always modify this. This is what's cool about this stuff is I have the ability to go back and modify. So Control to get rid of this. So the white arrow or the node tool, it lets you come back and click on these anchor points and you can modify them. All right. So if you don't love the look, that's fine. You just go back and modify after the fact. All right. Next, if I don't love the look of my stroke, I can always change it. Like maybe this one here, click, maybe it's too thick. Change it, all right? Make it thinner. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is when you ink this, the important thing is we don't want gaps. And if I turn this off, you'll see I have a big gap there because we're gonna use our paint bucket. And if there's gaps, it's not gonna work out really well. So try to close all your gaps. So I can always take my node tool and be like, you know what, there's a gap there. I'll take this and bring it down. So no gaps, kind of work on the silhouette first, right? That's just like the outline, and don't worry about the little details. Try to get the outline of your character first. When that's all done, we'll add the detail later, like these stitches and the bone here. So one step at a time. The outside of the hat looks pretty good. I would continue on here, but the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on this time, but I'm going to use the pencil. All right, so that's the pen tool. So just like Illustrator, you make the anchor points. You can modify the anchor points. Don't forget, like Photoshop and Illustrator, we do have options here. All right, when you have the pen tool, the pen options show. So like if I wanted, let's say this, not to have a handle, I could just convert it. No handle. Now it's just going to give me that straight line. If I wanted the handle, come back, convert to smooth. All right, so take some time, play with it. If you want more detail on these tools, look under the tutorial section. Go to Help, Tutorials. You can look under each tool. It'll give you more in-depth information. All right, so next we're going to take a look at the pencil.